What do you got there?
A smoothie? What is up, guys? Welcome to Garage 23. And this is our 1998 Nissan Skyline, which we imported from Japan and already broke twice and repaired. And check those videos out if you want to see that. But in those videos, I mentioned that one of my least favorite things about this car is the Recaro seat. It seemed like a cool bonus at the time, but as we've been driving it, it quickly grew to be the most negative feature of the car, mainly because your boy's been needing a few too many Crunchwrap Supremes. We've posted that for sale, and now we can't drive the car because there's only a passenger seat in it. So as far as options for seats on an R34, obviously any aftermarket Bright or Recaro seat or whatever will fit. But being we want to keep this more OEM inspired, your main options are V-spec seats, which are like thousands of dollars, like many thousands.
It's okay, I don't have any money today anyway.
Other option being knockoff V-spec seats, which a company called, I believe, Crank Motorsports in Australia makes them. And it looks like they're a pretty good option. I mean, they look pretty legit and they're only $2,000. But for that price, the option that I actually wanted to go with, which I didn't think we'd be able to go with, was the Juke Nismo seats. Or 370Z Nismo. They're both the same, just slight variances in color. These are also a few $1,000s, but we got these at a great price, presumably because they've been reupholstered, which, I don't know, I mean, that's a big plus for me because I hated the burgundy color that they come in. And this is like an actual red, so I don't know, I think that's a win. But these actually came out of an R35 GTR, so they came with R35 seat rails, and now we got to figure out how to get them in our R34. So let's start taking stuff apart and see how it goes. So yeah, like I said, these seats came out of an R35 GTR, and they came with these really nice Sparkle seat brackets, but this is the passenger side, and that's our driver's side, so both the right side essentially. And you can see it's not even close. And this one's like super tall back here, super tall on this side. I mean, obviously they're just not gonna work. But luckily we kept our rail from the Recaro. We know this bolts to the car, we just need to get the seat to bolt to this. So let's see if it bolts right up. So the way these seats mount, they have like these spacers, which you can stack, and then has an Allen bolt that holds the rails to the seat itself. So I kind of already tried to make this fit, but the problem is the Recaro seat, like this, somebody like already welded all this together. So there's no unbolting the bracket from the rail or anything, like it's all stuck together basically. And the problem with that is that it's basically, what was it, like a 1/4 inch too wide. So like, okay, I'll line this side up perfectly, and then you can see on this side the center of the rail versus where the mounting location is. It's like a 1/4 inch too wide. So I figured we wouldn't get that lucky, but basically we just gotta cut the rails off of this bracket and then bolt the rails to the seat and then weld them to the bracket, I guess. I don't know. The other problem is that this bracket, I don't know if this is an actual bracket or somebody just made this too, because they're pretty simple, just bar stock, and maybe they just bent it. Like the back section of it isn't connected to the front section, so if I cut them off, then I'm not gonna be able to, I mean, I guess I could just measure or something, but we need to like keep the distance between these exact, because then those bolt holes need to line up with the body of the car. So I'm debating just welding these two together first and then chopping the rail off. Yeah, I guess we should just do that. All right, so it's pretty exactly 13 3/4 edge to edge. So I guess we just use that. Should be good enough. So let's try and cut these off without ruining everything, I guess. Okay, so we ground off all the paint from the seatbelt bracket. That's how this is gonna go. I'm pretty sure it has to go all the way at the very end of this bracket, but we need to test fit now, see if this is gonna work. So as you can see, sort of, with the bracket placed as far back as we can, the seatbelt latch. I just realized I have no idea what this thing's actually called. But yeah, it is located exactly where it should be, between the bottom of the seat and the seat back. So I think that's barely gonna work out. We need to attach it to the rail because you don't want, because like on those GTR, the R35 brackets, the seatbelt thing is attached to the seat bracket itself, not the rails. So when you move the seat back, the seatbelt's gonna stay attached to this, and then it's gonna basically not be holding you as well as it should. And by attaching it to the rail itself, it'll move with the seat, so back and forth, so the seatbelt will stay tensioned properly. So that's one thing to keep in mind if you're installing seats. This is also mainly because we're still keeping the factory seat belts. If you're going to harnesses, then you wouldn't need this at all, and it'd be a little simpler, but yeah, we're gonna keep it, so we need to weld this in place now.
Warning, flashing lights.
What a waste of love.
Okay, we got our seatbelt latch securely attached. I can mock it up again. I'm not entirely sure if we need both of these spacers. I guess we'll just finish everything and then see if we need to lower the seat or not. They're about a 1/2 inch thick each, so.
What a waste of love.
All right, now that we got it tacked up, we need to make sure that it fits in the car before we weld the whole thing out. It looks all right, I guess. This one looks a little tight. All right, so it looks like it's gonna work, so let's go ahead and finish welding it out. All right, to get in the car. Plug our seatbelt back in so we don't have an annoying light on the dash. All right. It's so much easier to get in. Feels kind of high. I mean, the seating position's fine. It does seem a little high. It's not like we have a whole lot of room. I guess we could take those spacers out and see if it feels a little better, because that's, I guess, an inch together, maybe. I'm not sure. I didn't measure the spacers, but I thought they were like half inch, but maybe like 3/4 with both of them. I don't know. But it definitely feels a little high, so probably gonna try and take the spacers out and see if that makes it feel better. It's so much easier to get out too. Yeah. It looks way better than the stock seat or even the Recaro. What do you guys think? Yeah. All right, now to deal with that one, which it's gonna be a bigger pain in the ass because we don't have an aftermarket rail for that one. I'm hoping we maybe cut the rail off the stock one to see if we could weld it on. Let's get that seat out and see what we got to work with. Okay, so fast forward a bit, and we had a car show to go to, and I got the seat in there. And check out my A+ mounting method. Yeah, I didn't open the doors during the car show. So let's get this out of here. Just another vice grip back here. Somewhere. Yeah, totally safe. Okay, so this is pretty much what I had in mind. Is getting the rails off of the stock seats. But just by test fitting it like this, like way too tall. Like your head would be like on the ceiling. So we need to figure something else out. Okay, so these are the stock rails. It's kind of only half of them. And I guess I'll show you guys for anybody that cares. So these rails went like this. Yeah, it's kind of in the way now. But anyway, they went on here like this, and all you have to do is drill out these like rivets, I guess. And then these couple of spots are just like little divots that they punch into the metal to keep the rollers in place. Just gotta drill those out, and then you should be able to yank the whole thing out. So another thing I was thinking is this is 2 pieces. You can see where these like feet were welded to the rail itself. And so I was thinking maybe cutting these feet off of here and then welding some of this plate, welding that plate to the rail on those seats. But I think that might still sit too high. So now I'm debating cutting like, because there's like, I don't know, at least half an inch of space here that we could use. So maybe cutting all this off and then welding the plate lower. I'm not sure, I don't know what to do. I've never done this way before. Granted, we could just buy the appropriate seat bracket, but it's like 150 bucks. And so yeah, let's chop these up and see what happens. Remember, ear protection, because I'm getting old. So we chopped about 10 millimeters. So we're gonna chop about 10 millimeters off from this side. And this side looks like we had less. I don't even know what this one, I drilled everything out of that one and it's still not coming off, so. Held on with junk. I think I already messed up. So I cut this lower than the rail, but this side you can't cut any lower than that because it's already pretty much as low as it'll go. So now I think this is gonna sit like lopsided. Crap. Might be okay. This one does sit a little lower. I was trying to keep these little pins because it's nice to have them there just to locate the mounting position, but if we get rid of these, then I could weld it a little lower. I think we might have to do that to compensate. To be honest, I don't really think we need these front ones. Like, it's such a simple like angle. We should be able to just take that flat stock and just bend it a little bit and drill a hole and it should be fine. The back ones are the complicated ones, so that's probably what we're gonna keep. So let's try that. Yeah, we could use a better drill press. That's a great time to insert a word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by our damn self, so go check out garage23.net to see our first ever merch drop, which includes this Kaiju Heavy hoodie. This hoodie is awesome because it has 100% cotton outer and a polyester lined inner, so it's nice and tough, durable on the outside, but soft on the inside, and it doesn't have any drawstrings, so it doesn't get you killed in a shop like this. We're gonna have this hoodie and 2 shirts dropping, one of this design and another one of our 34 chilling in its original home of Fukuoka Prefecture. So check those out and use promo code DOYOURBEST for 20% off our introductory merch drop. And remember, all your purchases go toward helping your local impoverished car enthusiasts, i.e. us, and helps us provide more content for you guys to watch. So remember, thank you and always do your best. So a simple way to get more precise bends in thicker metal is grind like a little groove into it. So you can see we're like less than half of the way through it, and that'll let you get the bend like exactly where you want it, as opposed to like, you know, getting like a real rounded like bend. Unless you got a press brake, which we don't. So I'm doing this. So you can see it's more precise than if we were just trying to like bend it without the groove there. I'm not sure if that's quite enough, but we'll go check. Yeah, that's not bad. Now for the other side. Okay, so we got both our side rails made up, and I think we're gonna start with this side because this side basically just can't go any lower, so it is where it is. So what I did is just basically measure out from the edge of this door sill to make sure it's parallel to the car, and so it's pretty even now. So then we just vice gripped it to the factory mount. Now we can weld it together, and then we'll continue from there. All right, so next piece we're gonna weld on is this cross brace, which we measure the inner distance from both the side rails that we made. And just gonna make sure this is square and weld this one up.
Warning, flashing lights.
Crooked, but it'll do. All right, now let's check if this fits before we continue. Probably should have tacked it and then checked if it fit. but that's not how I do things. All right, so that looks pretty good. Now, let's check how far we are off level. So we're almost 3 degrees leaning to the left. So ideally we want this to be 0, but no, it's like a ½ inch off. That's another thing I realized is that these front mounts are quite a bit different. So I made a little spacer to try and make up the difference on this side, at least a little bit. So we're probably gonna weld this under this rail. So hopefully that makes up a little bit of the difference. Yeah, that's pretty much spot on. So I think that's gonna work. It's just this mount back here that we cut off the stock rail that's probably not gonna work. I was afraid that I cut it too short, but looking at how far this is off, even if we cut it flat off the OEM rail, it still wouldn't have reached. So I think we're gonna have to make our own mount for this back one. I mean, the most complicated one is that one, so as long as that one works, I'm happy. So let's get this side welded up and then figure out this little foot on the back. All right, so everything bolts up so far, and we're just left with this corner to figure out. So I made this little mounting foot on the bottom. That's 1/4 inch, because that's what I had laying around. And this is gonna work perfectly, because I kind of screwed up on this measurement, and with it lifted up a bit, it didn't line up on the edge anymore, but that leaves perfect room to put a gusset here. And so I just marked it where the middle is like leveled out. So we're gonna cut it right there and then weld it to that foot on the bottom and then to this corner. And maybe add a little gusset in there just cause. And it should be good. Then we can try and mount the seat. All right, that's pretty much it. I still wanna add a little gusset here, but I figured I should probably make sure everything's actually gonna work first before I reinforce it. Man, I nailed that one. Perfect. Let's actually tighten it down. Baby's not going nowhere. Let's see if it's still level. No. That's better. All right, we're almost there. We had to add a little cross brace in the front because the bolt holes just happen to line up exactly on the edge of the side rails. So yeah, we had to add a cross brace in the front and the back. And we got the top all smoothed out for the seat to mount to, and we just need to drill the back two mounting points. And we already got them all measured out, so let's drill these out. Actually, we should mark them first. Okay, we got all our mounting points drilled out, and hopefully it still bolts up.
All right, just kidding, we're not done. Forgot to put the seatbelt attachment mount on because, you know, we don't want camera go flying through the window. I fabricated a little bracket, a little 90, and a mounting point for our seatbelt buckle, like that. So now we're done. And we can go ahead and paint this guy and bolt everything together. So we're gonna throw this in the sandblaster and then throw some paint on it. right, that's gonna be it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Just hope this helps you guys, I don't know, give you some ideas and just think that there's other options other than the road most traveled, you know? And with the seat brackets, obviously you could just go buy seat brackets, but I think having the skills to like build your own seat brackets is more valuable than just buying seat brackets. So that's kind of how we do stuff around here. And of course, that's a lot cheaper than buying your own brackets, so that helps too. So thank you guys for watching, and as always do your best.
What up, SC? Want a race?